Hey everyone, it's Richard. So I wanted to provide an update on Brandon. I know it's been a while since the last update. In fact, it was, I believe, January 24th. So on January 25th, we went in to the clinic for lab work to see how his counts were doing, see how it looked for the following week for chemo. We went in as expected. His counts were a little bit low, or a lot of bit low, but not so severely low that they wanted to do anything about it, like give him an infusion at that point. They did want to, however, schedule a follow-up lab work appointment on Monday. So that's what we did. We scheduled that, got home, had our weekend. Brandon had several nosebleeds over the weekend that were getting a little bit worse, which is an indication that his platelet counts were continuing to drop. We went in on Monday, and as expected, they had dropped enough that they wanted to give him platelets. Stayed patient, but just for the day, not for overnight, for long enough for him to get platelets and everything. We did that on Monday and went home, had Tuesday and Wednesday off for me to work, for him to do schoolwork, for us to relax a little bit. There was some question about whether he was going to come in on Thursday for chemo or the following Monday. We normally come in on Thursdays. Had we come in on Monday, then that would have pushed us even closer to their birthday. And if anything went wrong, increased the likelihood of going over into their birthday. I was kind of hopeful that we could keep it on Thursday. There was some question the provider wasn't available on Friday, so we discussed that on Monday. And on Monday, they did agree that we could go ahead and do it on Thursday. So that was the agreement, was we would come in on Thursday, February 1st, to start chemo. And that's what we did. We came in on Thursday, February 1st, and the 1st. We came in on Thursday, February 1st for the appointment. Got his lab work done, everything checked out. So he started chemo that evening about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, somewhere in there. And since then, he's gotten the methotrexate. It made him sicker than normal. Normally, the methotrexate does have some side effects, makes him puffy, makes him sleepy, but doesn't make him nauseous. And this was the first time we'd experienced that. It's the second to last time he'll have methotrexate, so that's a relief, but it was a little disconcerting that he actually did have a side effect of being nauseous. He was pretty uncomfortable that first night, Thursday night, and didn't rest well because he kept on waking up feeling like he was going to throw up and stuff. So it wasn't a great night, but it certainly could have been worse. And by Friday morning, he was feeling better, so that was a relief. And after that, it's just a waiting game for his levels to drop low enough. He's trying to eat good and trying to drink plenty of fluids. They've got him on IV fluids, of course, through the port to try and flush all that out. Basically, the more he urinates and has bowel movements, the quicker the methotrexate flushes out of his system and the sooner he can go home. I may have mentioned before, but basically, methotrexate chemo stays in his blood system, is excreted through, again, urination and bowel movements. But the levels are expected to be around 10, and exactly what that is, 10, milliliters per something, I don't know, or whatever, but basically I just know the numbers, right? So by 24 hours, they hope for it to be around 10. By 48, they hope for it to be around 1. By 72, they hope for it to be around zero point 0.10 or less, so 0.10 or less. And at anything below 0.10, he can leave and go home. So if it's 0.10, then he's right there on the threshold, but he can't leave. But as soon as it hits like 0.09, he can leave. So last night at the 24-hour mark, he was at 17 instead of 10. He's been much higher than that. He's been in the 20s at this 24-hour mark and still been able to leave on time. And on time for us is not 72 hours. It is more like 96 or more. Honestly, probably more like, I don't know, I would say maybe 96 is probably about average for us. But either way, he's been in the 20s and still been able to leave at about the 96-hour mark, as well as when he's been at like 5 instead of in the 20s or teens or even 10. He was down at 5 and still didn't clear until about the 96-hour mark. So the first one's not a great indicator, but that's what it was last night. This evening, we'll see what it is. And that may serve as a slightly more accurate indicator of whether or not we'll get out on Monday or Tuesday, but hopefully Monday, but we'll see as things progress. That's where he is now. If everything goes well, we'll get out on Monday or Tuesday. We'll come back in again on Thursday, and he'll receive his last chemo. That's the hope, the goal, the desire. He'll get his last chemo Thursday, and then the following Monday or Tuesday, we'll get discharged. He'll get to ring the bell for his last chemo, which will be awesome. I'll probably go get my daughter for that so she can be here for the occasion and take a video and whatnot of him ringing the bell, because that's a very special occasion for us. That's the hope and the goal, is that by Tuesday, about a week and 3 or 4 days from now, he'll be ringing the bell and he'll be done with chemo. There's still, of course, a lot of appointments to attend to for his leg, where the amputation was, for the prosthetic leg, for rescanning and checking for any indications of new tumors or any other growth like that. So there's still a lot of things to go through, but we should be done with the chemo, which is a huge relief. And so that's where things stand with him right now. I'll provide more updates as we progress through our journey, but that's where it stands for today. And today is February the 3rd, Saturday. So that's where we are now. And I'll talk to you soon in the next update. Until then, as always, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Thanks. Bye.